Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Tufford. I am from New Jersey originally, but now I'm running a guiding company out here in Arkansas. I'm really excited to have all of you here to go on a beginner ride today. Our beginner ride is going to consist of a nice looping trail over there just to give you an introduction into Glowing Springs and how wonderful it is here. So before we get started, I want to just do a little bit of a warm-up, get the blood flowing a little bit, give us a chance to get to know each other a little bit, and then we'll go for our guided ride. How does that sound?
Good.
All right, very good. So if I can have I need everyone to introduce themselves and get to know each other a little bit. And if we just have everyone tell me your name, where you're from, and how you found out about today's ride, that would be great. Do you mind if I ask you to go first?
Sure. I'm Courtney Barrett, and I help lead a women's group of riders called Women of Oz here in Bentonville, Arkansas, and want to become a better rider and a better instructor myself. Heard about Ben through all of the wonderful referrals through town from the other women that have been using him, and am so stoked to take this course this weekend.
All right, good. Well, I'm going to have you say that again louder in front of the camera.
Okay.
Well, great to meet you, Courtney. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Ryan Parrish. I'm from Oklahoma originally, but lived all over. I've lived in upstate New York, and I'm glad to be here riding the trails.
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
I'm Tammy, and I live here now and get to enjoy these wonderful trails.
So great to meet you as well, Tammy.
I'm Allison. I am an Arkansasian now, and I'm trying to get the best of what there is to offer here of the trails.
Very cool. Great. Great to meet you as well, Allison. Next.
I'm Lisa Hirschbach, and I'm originally from New England, but I also moved northwest Arkansas from New Jersey. I moved here to start a new school that's going to do grades 6 through 12, and we have a robust cycling program that includes a nice team that I'd love to help coach.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
Great to meet you as well. And last.
I'm Brittany Ducharme. I live about 4 miles on the trail from here, so I get to enjoy the back 40 and what Bella Vista and the other trails have to offer.
Awesome, cool. Well, thanks for all that. Some of you got to know each other already, and I look forward to promoting more of that, so that's awesome. Do you mind, I need to check your bike. Do you mind if I take a look at yours quickly? So just to give everyone a heads up of what I'm looking for, I'm going to check the ABCs. So A is for air, so squeezing the tires, checking for air pressure. B is for brakes, so just making sure the brakes are working properly, which they are. And then C is for chain, and that is good as well. Lastly, I'm going to check quick releases, make sure that those are tightly fastened, and then checking the handlebars, making sure that those are on tight and snug and not going to go anywhere else. Pretty good. While I have you here, do you have any medical concerns or anything that's affecting today's ride that may not have come out in the registration? All right, very good. If anyone is feeling any concerns related to a recent injury or allergies, or maybe what you ate last night, and they think it might impact today's ride, feel free to just pull me aside and let me know, and we can see what we can do there. Very good. Cool. So the bikes have been checked. That's awesome. Next thing I just want to check is everyone's helmet. So if you just unbuckle your helmet like that, and then we're going to lean forward and just kind of jiggle our head and make sure our helmet actually stays on our head, that it's the proper size and adjusted properly. So we have a dial in the back that allows us to tighten or loosen the helmet. If it's wiggling a little bit, you can use that. But the helmet should stay on your head without the strap fastened, as you're just wiggling your head like we just did. Now we take that strap and tighten it again, or reclose it. And we're just going to look for the straps along the side of your head. So everyone look that way for me. Really good there. And then look the other way. Good, awesome. That's great. We want to see the strap form a Y underneath our earlobe so that it's properly fitted to our head. And then lastly, the strap underneath our chin. We should have enough room for 2 fingers to move freely underneath there, not too tight, not too loose. And everyone's looking good there as well. So that's awesome. Thanks for that. Alright, so there's our bike safety check and our helmet check. Next thing we're going to do is get into our warm-up. Just kind of get the blood flowing a little bit and get on our bikes. So we have 3 essentials that we're always going to have in mind whenever we're riding. The first is that we always have our head up, eyes scanning ahead, looking for obstacles on the trail and things to be aware of. Whenever we're riding, we always have at least 1 finger on each brake lever at all times. And then when we're not pedaling, we're always going to have level pedals, equally weighted, 1 foot in front of the other. And that's just allowing us to stay balanced on our feet. So those are the 3 essentials: head up, eyes scanning ahead, fingers on brake levers, and level pedals. Okay, so now we're going to get into our skills. We have two postures, two balanced postures that we refer to while we're riding our bike. The first one is called the neutral position. The neutral position is used for cruising easy terrain. If I'm coming down this path behind you or across a grass field in just a wide open area, I'm standing tall and relaxed. I have a slight bend in my elbows and in my knees, and basically I'm just scanning the terrain ahead. I may also use this as a period of rest between challenges. So I might get into what we call the ready position next, but all of a sudden I've passed my challenge and then I can pop up into the neutral position and take a little bit of a break. So that's the neutral position. And again, it's tall and relaxed with a slight bend in the elbows and the knees. The next one is called the ready position. And as the name indicates, it's for getting ready for something out on the trail. It might be an obstacle. It might be the fact that we need to start using our brakes. Maybe we're going down a descent or up a steep climb, or someone in front of us has had a mishap or something and we just need to be ready to maneuver. In that case, we're going to get into a deeper crouch. We have a much deeper bend in our elbows and our knees, and our elbows are out. Okay. In both of these positions, we're thinking about having heavy feet and light hands. So the majority of our body weight is in our feet. So I'm going to show you what these two positions look like as I go through the cones, and then I'll have everybody practice after that, or after I answer any questions. Let me show you. Neutral and ready. Everyone able to distinguish the two positions? Anyone have any questions? All right. Brittany, would you mind leading us out? And we're just going to do this at relatively the same speed I did and leaving a few bike lengths between riders. You can go ahead, Lisa. Pop up in that. Ready position. Very good. All right, we're going to do 2 laps around. Go ahead, Lisa. There you go, fingers on those brakes. That's looking excellent. Very good. There you go, excellent. Allison. Awesome. Tammy, great job. Ryan, that's looking good. Awesome. Courtney. And then Brittany, last time. Brittany, you can come around and stop. Everyone else is going to go one more time. There you go. Nice. Elbows out. Very good. Very good. Excellent.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah, that's it. You can come back and stop. All right, you guys, gals, look like you're warmed up already. All right, that was excellent. How about we come in just a little bit more? Thanks. Just so that everyone can hear us. Okay, so that was excellent. Just remember, our neutral position is used for cruising easy terrain, while our ready position is getting ready for something out on the terrain. Everyone looked great, so I'm excited about that. The next thing that we're going to talk about is braking. So braking is used to control our speed or come to a stop without skidding. So when we're braking, we're thinking about using both brake levers appropriately, kind of like a dimmer switch in your dining room. You squeeze the brake lever and you pay attention to what's happening, and you adjust the pressure on the brake lever accordingly. Very similar to the dimmer switch. We turn the dimmer switch, pay attention to the lighting, and make little adjustments until it's just right. While we're pulling those brake levers, we can drop the heel of our forward foot, which looks like this, dropping that heel of the forward foot as we're pulling those brake levers, and create what's called a bracing leg. And the use of a bracing leg allows us to stay positioned centered over the bike while the bike is slowing down. So it just helps us to maintain our balance and position. That heel drop is really important. So again, it's fingers on the brake levers pulling appropriately, and the heel drop of the forward foot, the one that's in front of us, allowing us to brace ourselves. And I'll show you what that looks like. Everyone see that heel drop as I slowed? Cool. Anyone have any questions? Okay, so here's what we'll do this time. I'm going to have Pablo lead the way. Let's slow it down a little bit and leave a lot more space, because the person in front of you is going to come to a stop in the cones. And we'll just plan to stop somewhere in the cones in front of me. Sound good? And then you can just ride away after that. Any questions? All right, Pablo, lead us out.
That starts when you're tilted.
This may play in my favor after all.
It may play in your favor. Not so much mine.
All right. think about coming to a complete stop. But you were doing good to drop your heel. There you go. Excellent. Good job.
So like complete. Sorry.
That's all right. Good heel drop. Excellent. Good. Good. Good heel drop. Good balance. Very good. Let's everybody plan to do it twice. Excellent heel drop. Good job. Very good. Good job. Go on, good. Yeah, Pablo, you can stop there. You can stop as well, Steph. Good job. Think about dropping that heel. You don't necessarily have to move your hips back.
Okay.
Just drop that heel at these speeds.
Okay.
You're throwing in a progression. There you go. Excellent, Amy. Good job. All right, Tracy. Good. All right, excellent. Come on back around. All right, so just brief review. So when we're using braking, we're thinking about both brake levers evenly, and then dropping the heel of our forward foot as we're pulling those brake levers. All right, so that was good. Next things we're going to work on is bike and body separation. So bike and body separation is allowing the bike to move around as it's dictated by the terrain. So the bike needs to be rolling around and moving underneath us while our body remains relatively still. Our torso, shoulders, and head should remain relatively still while the bike is moving around underneath us. So that's what we call bike and body separation. There's two planes of motion we're going to talk about now. The first is forward and back. We use forward and back when we're climbing and descending. So as we're climbing, the bike is going to be pitched in an upward position. We're going to find ourselves with the handlebars a little closer to our chest as we have to move forward, and our hips get a little bit forward related to the saddle. And that's going to allow us to stay in this good position over the bike. Conversely, when we're going down, the bike is going to be at this angle, and we're going to find ourselves with our arms a little bit more extended but not locked, and our hips are going to be back, maybe even behind the saddle as required by the steepness of the terrain. So we're going to work on, just as on flat ground, we're going to work on the range of motion, just moving forward on the bike and back on the bike as we go through the cones. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, everyone able to see that? All right, any questions? All right, Donald, you want to lead us out this time? Got those, there you go, level pedals, everything is good there, good. There you go, Lauren, good job. Good. Pablo, good. Forward and back. There you go. Excellent. Good, Tracy. Good job. Good job. Good Lauren. Good job, Steph. All right, Pablo, nice work. All right, you can stop there. Donald, you can stop. There you go. Excellent. Donald doesn't want to go first.
Good luck, Lauren.
Everybody's switching, so that's fine. No worries at all. I don't want to be first. So any questions there? Right, so that's forward and back, used for climbing and descending. And what we're thinking about is being in a good ready position and getting forward or getting back, depending on the terrain. Very good. So our other plane of motion with bike and body separation is what we call side to side. Side to side is used for three reasons. One is to stay on a narrow path, maybe across a small or narrow bridge or on a narrow section of trail. We'll be using little elements of side to side in order to keep going on a straight path. Conversely, we have cornering, and cornering we would lean the bike and hold it, and the handlebars naturally want to turn. So holding the bike in a leaned position promotes turning or cornering, And then lastly, if we're on a narrow section of trail or there's other riders around us, we may move the bike side to side to protect our handlebars from hitting something like a tree or another rider when we're out on the trail. So we use side to side for that as well. So with side to side, we're thinking about being in a low ready position. We're gonna have wide knees, elbows are out, and we're hinging with our elbows and arms as the bike moves side to side. Our bodies remains relatively still. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And to do this, I'm going to ride off in that direction, and I'm going to come at an angle towards you so you can see me coming head on, and then I'll go over there and repeat it for the rest of the group. Just came at you so that you could see it. Everyone see how I was relatively still while the bike was moving side to side? Any questions? All right. Lauren, would you mind leading us out? You can come through my cones. You thought about it. What's that?
You were going to. Gave him a break.
You got the floor.
Good. Lauren's got her breathing going over there.
Yes.
Good station. Oh, Stephanie. Good.
Yeah.
That's nice. Good job. Think level pedals, Donald.
Yep. Okay.
Otherwise it looked good. Amy, good job. Wide knees, Tracy. Think of those wide knees. Good. Good. I thought you were just going to ride through without doing anything.
I was waiting for the cone.
Oh, I see. Very good. All right. Hey, Donald, you can stop there. You're good.
Here, I'll go this way. I'll take one for the team. A lot of energy.
She's warmed up.
He's like,
All right, very good. So there's our warm-up. I wanted to make sure we covered all of that. So that was neutral ready, braking, and 2 bike and body separations, forward and back and side to side. Anyone have any questions before we go for a ride? All right, awesome.